Today, I want to talk about communication issues. I know it's the number one reason why relationships fail. I want to reiterate how important it is to make sure that you and your partner communicate on the same wavelength. Because if you don't, it will break your relationship apart. It will tear your marriage apart if you don't learn how to communicate the same language. So I want to go into one huge tactic that I think people are missing, and it's causing relationships and couples to fall apart. So let's get right into it. If this is the first time watching me, my name is V Mindful, and welcome to my channel. Here I talk about everything related to relationships, whether it's traveling with your partner, living with your partner, marrying your partner, or even divorcing your partner. But I'm here to help you find yourself again. I'm here to help you learn how to be in a relationship, how to attract a relationship, and how to maintain a healthy relationship. It all starts with communication. It all starts and ends with communication. People say, oh, but what about cheating? That ends relationships or finances. At the root of it is still communication. 9 times out of 10, if somebody is cheating, there's a disconnect. Hey, he's a spender, I'm a saver. There was some communication breakdown because these are things that you should have been finding out before you said, hey, let's become a couple. But either way, I want to talk about communication issues because I get asked this question probably the most. Or people say, hey, we just didn't communicate well. And I can admit I've had those troubles in my own relationships where we just aren't communicating the same language. So the biggest thing, though, I see is one person not hearing the other. It really boils down to somebody not validating the other person's emotions. And when your emotions are not validated, you feel like you aren't heard. So, what does that look like? That looks like I'm coming to my partner and I'm saying, hey, XYZ bothered me. And they go immediately into solving the problem, they go immediately into being defensive. That is a breakdown in the communication. What your partner is saying when they come to you and say, hey, I feel like XYZ, they just want to be emotionally validated. It's not that you have to agree with how they feel. They're not asking you to agree with how they feel. They just want you to hear how they feel. They want you to acknowledge the fact that they feel a certain type of way. So if your partner comes to you in that magnitude, please don't start with a solutioning. Don't start with a million excuses. Don't start with, oh, I didn't mean that. I actually was thinking this and blah, blah, blah. Just say this. It's as simple as this. I didn't know you felt that way. I'm glad you brought it to my attention. That was never my intention. And for that, if I made you feel that way, I apologize. Those simple words can go so much further than, well, I don't know what you mad about. What you mad about? Why you always think I'm trying to hurt your feelings? I didn't do nothing like that. Like, just acknowledging how they feel will get you so much further than you immediately going into defensive mode. What does defensive mode look like? Okay, because this be the worst. If your partner is coming to you and saying, I feel a certain type of way about XYZ, and you immediately go into defensive mode, you automatically put that person into defensive mode. We have to be mature enough and open enough to be able to receive constructive criticism. And if you are giving constructive criticism, you have to make sure you're communicating in a way to say, well, why are you hurt? What happened? Why do you feel a certain type of way? First, you need to have that conversation with yourself. Okay, what's going on before you start blurting things out? Think on it. Make sure you're communicating to your partner that, you know what, I really thought about it and I got down to the root of it. And I really didn't like how I felt when you said XYZ or you did XYZ. It made me feel a certain type of way. And literally that's it. Not you man, you suck. You don't do this, you don't do that. You just, oh my gosh, you a terrible listener, blah, blah, blah. I've been trust and believe I've been there. And I think once you get to the point to where you've communicated so many times, I know those words are going to come out of your mouth because they have come out of mine. Perfect. Okay, they have come out of mine. Once a person goes so many times of feeling unheard, I get it. I get it. I tell my clients, I get it. You have every right to feel a certain way when you don't feel heard. Okay, so this conversation I'm having right now, I want all of us to get to a point to where we can communicate so none of us feel unheard because one of the worst places to be in a relationship is to feel unheard. So if you are communicating, make sure you're communicating in such a way that's not putting your partner on the immediate defense. And if you are the person who's receiving that communication, be open minded to hearing your partner out. Listen to what he or she has to say and try to understand why they feel that way. Please understand, they're not attacking you. They're not saying that you intentionally hurt them. What they're saying is, in an action of you doing XYZ, it caused hurt. And we know that was not your intention, but it just caused hurt. And just do some reflection and say, you know what? I would not want to hurt my partner in that way. I did not intend to hurt my partner in that way. Communicate to him or her that it was not your intention. Okay. And just acknowledge that they feel a certain type of way and move on. Move on. If things fester and the conversation continues to go on and on and on, I'm going to tell you why. It's because your partner was not heard. They didn't feel like you emotionally validated them. They didn't even feel like you heard what they were saying because you immediately went into defense mode. You immediately went to defend yourself instead of hearing out your partner. So if you find that your partner is nagging or continue on the same conversation over and over and over again, I promise you it's because they weren't heard. So if that's your case and you're like, would she or he just move on? It's time for you to start practicing your listening skills. You ain't listening well. I'm sitting here telling you ain't listening well. So take a pause and be like, okay, you know what? Something's going on with my partner. I really want to understand what it is. Let me listen. That was never my intent. Not, I don't know how you took it that way. Why? That's your fault. That's your fault. You took it that way. That's all your fault. Mm, that's one of the some of the worst words you could say to your partner. If that's how you communicate that everything is somebody else's fault, every relationship you have is going to fail. There's got to be some accountability, period. I didn't mean it like that, and I apologize. Those simple words can go so much further than it's your fault you feel that way. That's called victim blaming. Somebody comes to you and tells you something, and those are your immediate words, we got to put a pause on it. If that's you, y'all got to learn how to listen. Just listen with an open ear. And please understand, everything isn't an attack. This is a cause of a disconnect. This is disconnection. When one partner isn't being heard, this is a disconnection. So people say, well, relationships end the most from cheating. No, before there was cheating, there was a disconnect. So if you want to stay emotionally connected to your partner, you're going to have to learn how to communicate. You're going to have to learn how to listen, and you're going to have to learn how to voice your concern without attacking. If you enjoyed today's content, by all means, y'all, please like and subscribe to Be Mindful. Please. It helps the channel grow. And again, if this is your first time to my channel, y'all, I want to mention that I just released a course, and it's for the woman who's trying to attract a man, a good man, a masculine man. But she is so dominant in her own energy because women today are leading. Y'all, we are leading in corporate America. We are leading in our education. We are leading in our homes. And because of that, we just don't know how to leave our dicks at home. So not only do I have a book called Ladies Leave Your Dick at Home, even if you're trying to heal from heartbreak, I also have a book called They Tried, But You Won. If you are having any trouble with attracting a relationship as a woman, as a dominant woman, as a woman in charge, as a single mom, as a corporate American leader, let me tell you something. My course is definitely 100% for you. I definitely appreciate you taking the time to listen and to watch. And please leave a comment to let me know how I can help you improve your relationships. So thank you. And y'all take care of yourselves. Until next time.